Hey everybody, Plushy here. So today I want to talk about a bit of an old topic, however I do see it being brought up once again recently on one of my videos comments. I think it's because NA is getting their Thanksgiving's banner and the banner does include Summer BB. So today I want to talk a little bit about why I think Summer BB's third skill, Faceless Moon, is not as amazing as a lot of people might want to lead you to believe. So first let's take a look at the skill itself. The skill is a 3-turn card lock, meaning that your deck wouldn't shuffle for 3 turns, and it also comes with a 3-turn passive star gen that gives you 10 stars per turn. Now I have 2 major problems with this skill. The first major problem is that the skill deactivates whenever you reshuffle your cards using a skill effect such as Ruler Artorias Skill 2 or Mages Association Mystic Code, or any of your party member dies, or you use a order change effect on any of your party members. Now this is going to be a huge problem, and I will explain a little bit more why later. Let's get the obvious part out of the way. This skill is definitely not viable in farming. Now you might have seen some interesting videos on YouTube where it demonstrates a couple of buster card damage dealers such as Super Orion or Arjuna Alter, and then you have Summer BB lock up all these buster cards and then you see them critting with triple buster every single turn for farming. Obviously, this doesn't work in most cases. It only works on nodes that have very low HP or just nodes with very low HP, because face card damage is inherently much lower than MP damage. The more common face card farming comps that you see today, such as double Van Gogh or double Dolman, either has a combination of MP damage and face card damage, or has insane amounts of crit boost, because you need a lot to make up for that. So yeah, let's get this out of the way. This is not going to be viable in any form of farming ever. Now the second most common place that people would recommend using this skill is in challenge quests, especially challenge quest min turns. Wow, wouldn't it be amazing if it guarantees you to brave chain every single turn in a challenge quest and you can just demolish the boss where you get full refund with the phase cards and then you MP every turn? Wow, it all sounds very great, but reality sets in. Usually you do not have the flexibility or the extra luxury to include such a clunky effect. The most common strategy in CQ min turns right now is to have a low HP buffer that dies off after they buff. There are 2 major advantages to this, which is 1, you can have more buffers to buff your main DPS instead of just the 3 with the 2 starting and the other one that you plug in with your plug suit. And 2, it actually resets your card every single turn. You can reshuffle every single turn someone dies, so it's possible for you to get the same cards every turn for your DPS. It is very RNG heavy, but for some of these min turns you just need this kind of RNG resets because you're pushing the limits of your main DPS in terms of both damage and their ability to deal with the boss's gimmicks. So Summer BB absolutely does not fit in this strategy, because if anyone dies, the effect goes away. She also doesn't provide any additional benefit to your team outside of the card lock. I guess the 10 stars per turn is kind of a small effect, but usually these can be made up for by using Star Bomb CEs, which are CEs that give you 20 stars upon your character equipping them entering the field. So overall, she's just someone who is only there to reduce RNG. And it has appeared in some compositions, but yeah, it's usually not worth it, and you don't have the luxury of including a character where what she does help you do is something that is achievable without her existing, technically. Like I've brought up before, you just reset the cards every single turn and hope you get a brave chain every turn. In my sort of 2 years or 3, I forgot how long I've owned this character in JP, but it's at least 2 years, I have never used her in a single serious CQ min turn composition, simply because of how clunky it is. Now it does exist in some special cases, but either it's because you're using a super strong DPS that doesn't need a lot of additional buffs, and usually even in those cases you're only using the skill for 2 turns. You still have someone to be killed off on the first turn, and then you only have to deal with 1 turn of card reshuffle RNG instead of 2, or the CQ is so easy that you absolutely don't need any other additional buffers. You just need 2 major damage buffers, usually the 2 meta buffers for each card type, and then you swap on Summer BB to do insane damage. But for a CQ with that low level of difficulty, I wouldn't call it anything impressive to be able to do it with Summer BB. You can probably pull that off without even owning Summer BB with a 3rd damage support. So overall, in my opinion, this character, if you're rolling specifically for the skill 3, it's very not worth it. You would be very, very disappointed at it because there is almost 0 situation where this skill is practical in any way. Now, however, if you do like Summer BB as a character, she's actually not a half bad DPS, contrary to some other people might lead you to believe. Summer BB is really decent because 1, she has existence outside of the realm, so she is Van Gogh compatible. You can actually push her damage very, very high. And 2, she's actually compatible with double Koyan Light to Buster Farm because she has a 50 MP battery with a short enough cooldown. And as I mentioned earlier, she's a very selfish servant, so her 1st and 2nd skills are really geared towards buffing her own damage. And that here becomes an advantage if you want to use her as a main DPS. And she also got a buff earlier this year in JP that gives her a 30% attack up for 3 turns, which is actually a lot more significant than you might think. So I'm not saying Summer BB is a not worthy role, especially if you do like her, and she does get like a bit of a animation upgrade on JP, so you can look forward to that as well. You know, sure, roll for her, but if you're rolling for this character specifically for the skill 3 effect to benefit you in, you know, min-turning CQs or, you know, wacky farming teams, it's not worth it because most of the time you end up cutting her just because of how clunky and hard to use the skill actually is. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and see you guys in the next one.